One scorching summer day, with temperatures soaring, Tane and his friends set out early to their next photo destination in an attempt to beat the sweltering heat. Despite their efforts, the intense humidity proved to be a formidable challenge. Accompanied by three friends he had met on his travels, who shared his passion for photography and nature, Tane found solace in their company, which added to the already magical experience. To reach the forest, they boarded a local train, squeezing into the overcrowded compartments and hoisting their bags above their heads. The journey was arduous, but the anticipation of what lay ahead kept their spirits high. In order to create more space for others and to protect their equipment, Tane and his friends held their bags above their heads on the crowded train, despite the strain on their arms. Upon arriving at their destination, they were relieved to finally set down their bags and take a much-needed water break. As they approached the entrance to the forest they intended to explore, they noticed warning signs posted. In addition to the standard rules about littering and walking in groups, there were also cautionary signs about Indian wolves. This came as a surprise to Tane and his friends, who had not been aware that wolves inhabited this region. Initially hesitant about the presence of such predators, they'd briefly considered turning back. The thought of packs of wolves roaming freely through the trees was unsettling. After a discussion, they decided to proceed, a choice that would prove to be a wise one in the end. The hike, initially intended as a leisurely stroll, quickly escalated into a more challenging trek, testing Tane's endurance as they ascended the incline. Despite the need for occasional breaks to catch their breath, Tane seized the opportunity to capture stunning shots of the surrounding foliage. The highlight of their journey awaited them at the summit of the hill, which they reached after a 2-hour ascent. There, they were rewarded with a breathtaking view of the Nagpur River meandering peacefully below. However, the adage, "what goes up must come down," held true, and they began their descent. As they descended, marveling at the sights before them, their reverie was abruptly interrupted by a chilling sound, the unmistakable howl of a wolf. Fear gripped the group as they contemplated their next move. One member reassured them that the howl seemed distant and there was likely no immediate danger. Attempting to dismiss their fears, the group continued their descent into the valley, finding relief in the cool waters of the Nagpur River. They took turns wading waist-deep into the river, enjoying a refreshing dip to cool off from the sweltering heat. After their swim, they sat on the riverbank, sunbathing and waiting for their clothes to dry. Tane, however, was startled when he noticed movement in the bushes. At first, he thought he saw multiple pairs of eyes peering back at him, but when he looked again, the bushes were empty. Shrugging off the momentary fright, Tane convinced himself that he was imagining things. While his friends playfully goofed around, Tane decided to explore a bit further, camera in hand. He ventured downstream, but curiosity soon led him back to the spot where he had seen the eyes, determined to uncover the mystery. It was a decision that would prove to be fateful. Returning to the spot where he had seen the eyes, Tane took a deep breath and entered the bush. However, he was quickly startled by his friend's frightened shout, causing him to turn around. What he saw sent shivers down his spine. About 165 feet, 50 meters, upriver from his friends stood what appeared to be a wolf, though it was in a dire state. Its bones protruded from its emaciated body, and patches of fur were missing. Yet, the most distressing sight was the large plastic jar encasing its head. It became clear that the unfortunate wolf had likely stuck its head into the jar in search of food, only to become trapped with no means of escape. Tane couldn't determine how long the jar had been on the wolf's head, but it had clearly been enough time for the animal to become severely malnourished. The group stood frozen in fear, knowing that where there was one wolf, there could be more lurking nearby. Their suspicions were confirmed moments later when a whole pack emerged from the bush, positioning themselves protectively around the trapped wolf. It seemed the pack was determined to defend their fellow wolf, resulting in a tense standoff. The group, fearing an attack if they made any sudden movements, found themselves immobilized, unable to act. To their surprise, the wolves showed no aggression, instead appearing to assess the group. Tane, hoping to call for help, reached for his cell phone when something incredible occurred. The wolves, without any aggression, lowered their heads and began to back away. This unexpected behavior left the group speechless, unable to comprehend what was happening. It was then that Tane noticed something remarkable. The pack seemed to be showing their injured member to the group as if seeking assistance. Feeling a sense of trust from the wolves, Tane believed they were asking for help. He shared his observation with his friends, who agreed. The challenge now was how to approach the injured wolf. Slowly, Tane and one of his friends cautiously moved towards the injured animal. Agreeing on a cautious approach, Tane slowly reached out to stroke the wolf's body, eliciting a low growl from the animal, but it remained in place. Meanwhile, Tane's friend carefully gripped the plastic jar, preparing to remove it. With a deep breath, they synchronized their movements, and as Tane held the wolf, his friend pulled the jar off. The wolf collapsed, exhausted but free, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief, amazed at their success. The wolf was too weak to react aggressively, allowing Tane to offer it water, which it drank eagerly. Slowly, they retreated, allowing the pack to approach. The pack greeted their freed member with whines and cheerful noises, sniffing and licking its face. The friends remained still, capturing the moment with their cameras, filled with an indescribable joy. After about an hour, the injured wolf regained its strength and stood up, joining its pack. Tane had managed to capture the entire rescue on camera, from the initial discovery to the heartwarming reunion. The group was left in awe of the incredible experience, knowing it was something they could never fully explain to others. As the injured wolf regained its strength, it made its way to the water's edge and lapped up the cool water, refreshing itself for several minutes. Afterwards, it attempted to groom itself before lifting its head and locking eyes with the group that had freed it. There was a warmth in its gaze, almost as if it was expressing gratitude for the second chance at life they had provided. With a final glance at the group, the wolf turned and disappeared into the bush with its pack. Tane and his friends were left awestruck by the experience, grateful for the opportunity to assist the natural world they cherished. They could hardly comprehend the magnitude of what they had accomplished, but they felt immense gratitude for the chance to make a difference. And as a bonus, they had captured some incredible pictures along the way, preserving the memory of their extraordinary encounter with nature.